Okay, I wanted to give you guys a tutorial on the staff ID for this year. This is the basic overview of what it looks like. At the top you can see that I have selected a font that you don't have installed. So it's Aviano Futura. So I wanted to go ahead and show you guys how to get that font. You go up under your Creative Cloud menu and you'll pop up this screen. You're used to using this screen to see what updates you have, what apps you have. So that's where you go usually. But if we click on the font symbol and then drop down to Browse More Fonts, we get this web page that pops up. We're just going to type Aviano Futura here in this search box and then see where it comes up. On the search screen, you can see that I have already installed this font, so it gives me remove. It'll give you the right to install instead. The one you actually want to install is Aviano Future Bold, and once you've installed it, you'll just go back into Photoshop and it should appear there. You may need to restart to get it to show up, but then you'll have Aviano Future Bold to work with. Okay, so now that I have my correct font, I'm just going to make a text box, and I'm going to set this text box to 24 point and create it. And then I'm going to go in and type PWH SDM. Now before I mess with my color, I'm actually going to go into my text box and I'm going to add a space before and after my text. That's going to help me center it and leave a little bit of relief on either side. Now if you don't have your rulers, you're going to need to hit Control-R to make them visible on the side. And to get a guideline, you're just going to go over and reach right off that ruler, click and drag. You can set it up. I've set it up there right in the middle. Now I'm going to line my text up. You see that when I get that centered out of my text box on that, it's going to be nicely balanced. Time to get rid of that red. I'm just going to go ahead, click on my text tool, triple click in here to select, click on the palette and type in good old 99BADD. Oh, actually no, 00000 for our school, not our school color yet. Okay, now I'm going to go over to my layers palette and add a couple more things. Click on the layers palette. I'm going to click to select that layer, drop down to effects, and I'm going to choose a stroke. I'm going to go ahead and make a little stronger stroke there. So now I'm going to add a little PW color. Go in, choose my 99BADD as my outline color. Actually, no, I'm going to change that up because I want to use the school color as my drop shadow here in a bit. So I'll go ahead and go with the white. It'll offset that black really crisply and make it easier to read. Now we're going to go down and add a drop shadow. So always confusing because it doesn't show me the drop shadow settings until I click on it to select. So I already have that blue in there. I'm going to change the angle a bit to where I want it. And then I'm going to go in and click OK. And now we have a drop shadow. It adds a little bit of color finally to this design. Now I'm going to do something just to save myself some time. I'm going to copy this text box and paste it. Then I'm going to go in and make the changes because I have the font, I have an outline, I have things set up. So now I'm just going to go select text and I'm going to do my 2324. Then I'll go in and change the font. And I'm actually going to reverse the color scheme. For these smaller items, the student name and the year, I'm going to use 12 points. So half as loud, half as noticeable from the big one at the top that gets all the attention. Once I get this set, I'm going to go back in and repeat the process, copy it, drop down, use it again for student name. I'm not going to change any settings other than just the contents this time. I'm going to leave that student name off-centered because I want it to bleed onto the picture, but I don't want it to be centered. So next we're going to take a look at one of the seemingly most complicated parts, and it's that slanted text that gives it kind of nice energy. It seems complicated because we're going to be using the pen tool, and the pen tool can get complicated. We're going to use it very, very simply by just drawing 2 points and creating a line. So I'm going to position my pen tool where I want it, and I'm going to click to draw my first point, figure out the length and the angle I want, and I'm just going to click at the bottom to make the second point. Now that I have my line the way I want it, I'm going to go ahead and grab my text tool and come up and shrink that font way down because it's going to have to be small to fit in there. Now with my text tool, I'm going to hover over the first point until I get that wavy line. I'm going to click in there, and that's going to put in the automatic text. Okay, so now I'm going to go into my layers palette again. First going to select that object, then go into my layers palette and choose the stroke. Going to go black to make it pop. Going to click OK. Make it just a 1-point stroke there to set off that text. Now I'm going to do what I did earlier to save myself some time. I'm just going to copy and paste this element 5 times so that I can line it all up, and then I'll come through and put the correct text in, and I won't have to change all my settings, miss a line that changes the angle. I can keep that real consistent pattern. I'm also going to go up to my ruler and put a guideline to snap the top edge of that text to so that it's real consistent and clean all the way across. Okay, going to go ahead and show you something relatively simple that can nonetheless be messed up, and that is using this tool. I had to recreate this a bit, so I'm going to go back and show you how I did the box. This is the square tool. Notice that I have my black fill chosen up there on the bar, on the edit bar for the tools. And I'm just going to make my box. If you look off to the left here, note that I am lining it up just past 2, like I told you. It doesn't matter that I'm bigger because I can't show anything off there, so no need to try to line up the edges perfectly. It's going to give me the box I want. And now I'm going to Shift-Command-N to make a new layer. You didn't see the pop-up, it was off screen, but because I want to make a second box, and if I go ahead and immediately change to gray, it's just going to change the color of this one. So now I'm just going to use my eyedropper, grab that gray, and come down here and make my picture rectangle. Make it a little bigger. Right in there, and that's where my picture is going to go. Okay, so we are good there. So I'm going to make another new layer because now it's time for me to bring in that artwork, a retro logo cutout right here. So I'm going to switch over, and I'm just going to hit Command A to select all, and then Command C to copy. I'm going to hit Command tilde to bounce back to my file. I'm going to hit Command V. And now, Command T to select, and I can click and drag with my cursor. Please remember I can also use the arrow keys if I want to just tweak it a bit. Sorry, I want to get my aspect ratio right. Don't want to distort my art. And then I want to move it over a little bit, bump it some, so that it has some relief there on that edge, but interacts with this. Right there. Okay. Funky going on with the layers. I recreated to demo this. So this guy needs to go back behind my CyChron. Okay, there we go. All right. So there we have the right look, and I'll put my student name text back on here, and then I will simply do the last process, which I guess I can do for you right away. We're going to make this the front and the back. Your picture would be on here, your name would be on here. But we're going to go to image, and we're actually going to go canvas size. Image size would change the size of our work and just stretch it, but we're going to double our canvas size. So, and I'm actually going to go just a little short of 5. I'm going to go 4.9. Okay. Because I'm going to make 2 sides on one thing. Okay. So I'm going to pop my layers palette open. Going to select them all. And I'm just going to merge them down. You can use Command E for that. Merge layers so that it's one thing. Step. I made that box and I went over the edge there because it wasn't important, but it actually was. So missed that call. So I'm going to use my crop tool and make this edge clean so it doesn't have that black bar sticking out. Okay, I'm going to accept that crop. And then I'm going to hit my Command C. And now I'm going to go and adjust my canvas size. It's going to be 4.9. And I'm just going to copy this guy and line them both up. When you print your IDs, you're going to fold them. You'll cut them and fold them, and then they will be laminated so that either side will have the same thing on it if it hangs wrong.